Sri Rama Jaya Jaya Rama. Sri Rama Jaya Jaya Rama. Sri Rama Jaya Jaya Rama. Sri Rama Jaya Jaya Rama.
Namaskaram to all the viewers around the world. I am Kritika and I welcome you all to Somebash lectures. To accounting, from students to professors to retired seniors living in Europe. We come together to discuss the real Indian cash, culture, art, societal issues, and history. We help our followers develop a better understanding of Indian culture. Today we have with us a very learned guest who is an educationalist, a Vedic guru, a Ramayana exponent, an author, philosopher, yoga guru, and an inventor. Dr. David Frawley, founder of American Institute of Vedic Studies, whom many know as Professor Vamadeva Shastri, says, and I quote, Dr. Rangan teaches the essence of Dharma, the true vision of dharmic life, in a wonderful and engaging way, reawakening the soul of India in the modern age. Several Sambhash families benefit from his WEBOLIM school, which is in its 23rd year of running. Kids and adults alike learn Valmiki Ramayana from his students who are now our gurus, imparting knowledge to Sanatanis all over the world. Dr. Rangan Ramakrishnanji, we welcome you to Sambhash. Sir, you have not only published several academic papers but also have authored 7 books, of which 3 are in Tamil, namely Thoril Dharmam, Mariyin Maraiporul, and Ramaganamritam, and in English, Darshan, the true vision of dharmic life, Bliss, the 9th cycle of Rig Veda, the Ramayana of Valmiki, English translation of the 24,000 verses, and a book on today's topic, What is Dharma? This works as a perfect segue to invite my co-host, Dr. Karthik Parasar, to tell us about the motivation for today's talk.
Thank you, Kritika. Welcome all once again. Who, in fact, which form of life does not want to be happy? If there is just one thing common across all animate, inanimate, living or non-living forms around the world, it is this desire for happiness. Happiness is a common experience which is typically transient in nature. We all have moved through moments of happiness and sorrow since a very young age. This seems to keep repeating cyclically, like that if a kid is eating candy, he would be happy, or it would be unhappy or sorrowful if he is being punished in the school for some wrongdoing. A critical mind clearly discerns this situation, and it begins to appear that happiness and sorrow are but given unto self by the external factors. One tends to avoid things that would bring sorrow and always tends to pursue things which would make them happy. In this bargain of trying to be as happy as possible, we also notice it is a transient in nature, and the source of happiness is temporary. For a person who is extremely thirsty, having a cup of water is happiness, while the happiness quotient from the drinking of water drops down as the thirst is quenched. In some cases, acts of happiness or the acts done in pursuit of happiness also can cause deep sorrow at a later point in time. This is indeed a vicious cycle which is experienced by one and all. What is to be done if one has to overcome this to remain consciously in a state of happiness, joy, or as we say in Indic languages as Ananda, is therefore a pertinent question. Dharma is that idea which appears as a remedy at the root of this problem. The Chaturvida Purushartha, or the four-folded reasons for all human pursuits of Dharma, Artha, Kama, and Moksha, is a prescription for consciously removing oneself from such vicious cycles of sorrow and happiness. For any change to be brought about, it is imperative to take the route of Shravana, Manana, and Nitidhyasana as beautifully sung from the verses of Sri Adi Shankara's Bhaja Govindam. Today, we have yet another opportunity to spend our time to hear, contemplate, and internalize the concept of Dharma, which is indeed the fountainhead of living Anandamaya life, a life filled with joyfulness and therefore being happy. I now cede the floor to Dr. Ranganji. Sir, the floor is yours.
Let us start with a prayer. Jnanena akashakalpena dharmanyo gaganopaman jnaya bhedena sambuddhaha tam vande dvipadambaram. Namo dharmaya mahate Namah Krishnaya Vedhase Brahmanebhyo Namaskritye Dharman Vakshye Sanatanan. The word dharma is one of the most frequently used words in all dharmic traditions, dharmic religions. That include Sanatana Dharma, Buddhism, Jainism, and Sikhism. Dharma is common for all these religions and the paths belonging to all these religions, their subdivisions. In India, we Indians generally, whenever we do any work, we see that work we have a habit, and we will have a habit to see that work from Dharma point of view. Before starting the job, most of us ask this question, is it Dharma? So it's clear that Dharma is extremely important to any Indian. So an Indian we expect an Indian to have some idea about Dharma. So this becomes very important, this question, what is Dharma, to an Indian. In fact, to the whole world, this question is extremely important. Some idea about Dharma, most of Indians, probably all Indians, may have. If you go to somebody and ask what is Dharma, he may give some idea. He may say Dharma is a dogma. He may tell us. Some peripheral understanding of Dharma he may have. Some others may say Dharma means religion. It's a modern definition of Dharma. I have seen some in some scripture in Bhagavad Gita's translation. Somebody translated Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata is translated as whenever religion diminishes, Lord Krishna comes to uplift religion. A poor translation, but yet a peripheral understanding of Dharma. Dharma means religion. Some others may feel Dharma means constitution. Dharma means law. Some others may think Dharma means morality. Dharma means ethics, rules and regulations. Some others may think Dharma means human values, humanity, virtues. This is how the concept of Dharma is viewed in many ways in the world. Now let us scrutinize this. Some people think Dharma means constitution, I said. Are they synonymous? Dharma and constitution, are they synonymous? The English dictionary makers thoroughly understand that all these words cannot be synonyms to Dharma, morality or ethics or virtue or value or constitution or religion. These are not synonymous to dharma. Therefore, they have taken the word dharma, the Sanskrit word dharma, to their dictionary as it is. That's all. They did not try to translate it. The best way to live without any translation. So they also acquired the word dharma in their dictionary. That's all. So why not dharma can be constitution? Constitution is different from dharma. Constitution is dharmic, we can tell. We can say constitution, this constitution is dharmic. This law is dharmic. But that law is adharmic. Adharmic laws also can exist. The great people, some great leaders were lawbreakers. For example, Thoreau. Thoreau wrote a book named Civil Disobedience. It's because he was against some laws of his time. Those laws were against the blacks. Here in India, Gandhiji was against some laws imposed by British. Therefore, he borrowed the same term, civil disobedience, from Thoreau. If dharma is constitution, then we can't tell these laws are adharmic, therefore we can fight against those laws. Even while Gandhiji was very young in South Africa, he fought against some laws which were imposed on Indians of South Africa to ill-treat them. These things we see. So we can't tell that constitution and dharma are synonymous. If constitution is adharmic, we have a right to oppose that constitution also. So why can't we think that dharma is religion? How is this definition? Dharma is religion. Sometimes religion also can become religious tenets, not the whole religion. No religion is completely adharmic in the world. Some religious tenets of some religion can become adharmic. And in those contexts, we can't call religion is synonym to dharma. We can see many massacres, even genocides, happened in the name of faith, religion. Bloodshed happened in the name of religion. This we can see in the whole world, everywhere in the medieval age. Very unfortunate. Fanaticism. This fanaticism is a product of religion. Therefore, there is one perception that religion is fantastic, wonderful, great. Those merits are also there with religion. But religion can bring these things also. Genocide, trouble, fight. So, religion is not a synonym to dharma. Religion is different from dharma. Religious tenets can be dharmic also. Some religious tenets can be adharmic also. Some laws can be adharmic also. Some laws can be dharmic also. Therefore, dharma is different from both constitution and religion. Then what else is dharma? Some others say ideology is dharma. I have an ideology and that ideology is dharma. This is my ideology. Need not be. Ideology can be adharmic also. My race is the superior race in the whole world. All other race have to be demolished. Some leaders were like that. We know what happened in Second World War. So there we see ideology cannot be dharma. There are adharmic ideologies. There are dharmic ideologies. In some contexts, Some ideologies become dharmic. In some other contexts, the same ideology proves itself to be adharmic. Some ideologies become irrelevant, which were dharmic in ancient days. So ideology is not dharma. Okay, what about values? Human values? Human values are wonderful, no doubt. But there are times in which some values become irrelevant. Irrelevant means adharmic also. For example, honesty, truthfulness. Truthfulness is wonderful. But some thugs are chasing a girl, and that girl takes refuge in me. I ask that girl to hide in my house. Those thugs are coming. They are asking, have you seen a girl running in this way? No, she did not come here at all. I reply, that becomes dharma. Here, lying is dharma. Here, truthfulness is not dharma. Truthfulness is adharma here. No, I should be truthful, therefore I will not lie. Here only she is hiding. If I tell them, that becomes adharma. Same with all other values also. Obedience. Obedience to parents. Yes, it's wonderful. Most of the time it's wonderful. But sometimes father says to his son, my dear son, a neighbor's child is crawling there. Parents are not there. We are sitting in veranda. The child is crawling in veranda and the child has a golden chain. Come on, you take that, you snatch that chain. Then, if this boy says, I have to obey my father, Pitrudevo Bhava, I have to obey my father, that becomes adharma. A son wants to go to his office or temple or to some Vishnu Sahasranama parent. No, don't go there. You come here. Let us gamble. If father says like this, can son obey that? So it becomes adharma. So obedience and dharma are not synonymous. Obedience in most of times is wonderful, it's dharmic, but sometimes it fails. Somebody is very punctual, so therefore he is dharmic, one may say. But one who is punctual, he is punctual. He announces that at 9 o'clock, exactly at 9 o'clock, there will be a bomb blast. And this guy is bombing. Is it dharmic? That punctuality is not dharmic. So all these values like ahimsa is very great. Ahimsa paramo dharma. Ahimsa is the greatest dharma. Based on ahimsa, everything is decided. That's how Bhishmacharya says in Mahabharata. But again, our tolerance towards terrorists, is it dharma? Cannot be. If you remain silent regarding terrorists, if somebody asks, we say, I am practicing ahimsa. It cannot be dharma. So all these things cannot become synonym to dharma. Dharma is something different from all these things. Wire is helping us. Wire. Only if electricity exists within the wire. If electricity doesn't come in wire is useless. In the same way, electricity is dharma, and these wires are human values, virtues, ethics, morality, constitution, religion, so on and so forth. We have to find out what is that electricity. What is that electricity? Before several years, I was contemplating on that. What is this dharma, which is dealt in all these scriptures, in which Everything in India is linked. Our culture, our art, our science. All these things are linked with this fundamental concept, Dharma. Is it just an imagination? Is it just a notion? Whatever, whoever likes whatever thing, I want to do something, then I will tell that this is dharmic, therefore I am doing. Is it like that? Or is it a reality by itself? This fundamental question was very much proning me. I was contemplating, and we developed a wonderful models, some insight, very nice insight, very profound insight. Two models came in due course of time. One is called as Hitam maturity model. Another one is called as Dharma model. Now let us focus on this Dharma model. When we got it, we published it, and we got a patent, or rather copyright, from Indian government for this Dharma model. As fortunately and rightly, Sri Karthikeyan started with the connection of Dharma and Ananda. This Dharma model is about that. Few questions were presented to me before this lecture. Several questions. Among those questions, in my perception, this is the best question. A relationship between Dharma and Ananda. How Dharma is related to Ananda. And today, with the same question Karthikeyan ji started, my plan also is only to present that if this question is answered, most of the questions presented to me before lecture will be answered. Therefore, let me deal with this issue, Ananda and Dharma. Ananda means bliss, even satisfaction. Nadu samruddhau, samruddhi. Ananda means happiness, joy. And Dharma is all in all about this joy only, this happiness only. There are various layers of happiness. 4 layers of happiness. Okay. Let us first explore these 4 layers of happiness. Then we shall try to understand Dharma. We have termed these 4 layers of happiness. Terminology is only to make us understand, to make you understand. Generally, too much getting stuck with the terminology is also problematic. If we get stuck with terminology, we may not get clarity. But without terms, it also becomes to get clarity. It also becomes difficult to get clarity. Therefore, let me use only 4 terms in this lecture. This is enough. I don't want to confuse anybody with several terminologies, but please, while I'm introducing these 4 terminologies, please be thorough, please be clear with all these 4 terminologies. Unless you understand these terminologies, you may not understand the whole of my lecture. Yes. Because again and again I will use these 4 terms. The first term is atta. All 4 words are Sanskrit words. Atru, atta can be the first word. Its literal meaning is one who eats. You may call it as eater, devourer. What is this atta? We are enjoying something. While we enjoy, it gives an immediate pleasure. But later, we fall in misery. We get into trouble. First, it starts with an immediate pleasure. Later, it takes us to a prolonged difficulty, prolonged trouble. This is called as Atta. Mantra from Vedas. Sukadin dukha nidanam pratimuncha swaswam puram aplavasva praplavasva andi bhavajamamuhu. Aplavasva praplavasva. Don't get bound to anything. Don't get bound to the bondage which you have. Bondage? Yeah. Physical bondage, mental bondage which you have. Anda. Anda means universe. The one who is staying in this Anda. Anda is in universe, that is Brahmanda. Anda means this body. This is Pindanda. Anda means this body. The one who stays in this Anda is called as Andi. Where? In Taittiriya Aranyaka. Andi Bhavajamamuhu. The same Andi in Siddhar music. Nandavanatil or Andi. It takes from Taittiriya Aranyaka. This Andi, this Tamil word. This Andi is nothing but one who gets bound in this Anda, this body. Okay. Coming to the point. Here, Veda says, Sukadin dukha nidanam. Bhoga, which starts with a temporary joy, leading to a prolonged misery. Same is told in the Gita. Yetadagre amrutamiva pariname vishopamam. In parinama it is visha, it is poison. In beginning it is amruta. Such a kind of joy is there. It is called as atta. Example, excessive consumption of alcohol, drugs. So many things can be example. There's a very familiar examples which I am talking about. So many things. Excessive usage of internet, excessive usage of excessive watching of movies, excessive usage of mobile phone, excessive usage of air condition. So many things are there. So many examples are there. Okay. Why this is called as Atta? It's because the Vedas are calling it as Atta. In the Veda, our bhogas, okay, ahaman namanna matantamadmi, the Veda says. Veda beautifully puts in this way, food is a eater, the Veda says. Are we eating food or food is eating us? We have to think on this. It's we who eat food. Food is not eating me. No. Food also can eat us. Adantam atmi. I am the eater of eaters, food says. There's a beautiful poem in Veda, Anasuktam. I am the eater of my eaters. If somebody is a diabetic patient, he comes to your house. He is a very rare guest. Therefore, those people are excited. They are asking, very nice Rasagulla we have. Please take, sir. He is thinking, no, I can't take because I'm a sugar patient. No. This is a different thing. Only one Rasagulla you can taste. You have not consumed anything for a long time. Now you can take this one Rasagulla. Yes, okay, fine. He is seeing around, neither doctor nor wife is there. So we can take Rasagulla, he thinks. And then they said only one Rasagulla, but they bring They have that excitement. A rare guest has come. They are excited. They bring a huge plate filled with rasagullas. He thought, okay, so many rasagullas are there, very colorful also. Let me take only one rasagulla, he thought. And he started to talk while eating. That conversation is going on and on. Finally, he sees that plate is empty. Astounded. What is this? Who ate all this? You only? Without his own knowledge, he has taken all rasagullas. Now comes the question. Is he eating rasagulla or is rasagulla eating him? We can understand. Aham annam adantam admi. Anna is named as Anna because adyate ticha bhutani tasmadannam tatuchyata iti. Annam adyate atti. Adyate. It is eaten, therefore it is called as an adabhakshane. It is from adadhatu. Anna is eaten, therefore it is called as Anna. Anna eats, therefore also it is called as Anna. Anna is eating us. Food is eating us. So all these materialistic pressures, they gradually start to consume us. We may think that we are consuming them, but they are consuming us. Okay. And that's the thing. So therefore this is called as Atta. So we should have a very sharp discriminative intelligence of what is joy and what is misery. Clearly we have to understand this is Atta, I have to avoid. And this is joyful. Anyhow, Dharma is that which leads to joy. Therefore I have to do this Dharma of eating rasagullas, 60 to 70 rasagullas. No. It's not like that. This Atra kind of joy is not Dharma. And this is there are 4 kinds of joys. We have to understand what kind of joy is Dharma. Dharma leads to happiness. The statement is wonderful. But what kind of happiness? We have to give up this Atra kind of happiness in our life. Then let me introduce another term. 4 terms I promised. The first term is over. Next term, Ananubandha Sukham. This is the second term. Ananubandha Sukham. Okay? This Anubandha means consequence. Sukham means joy. Anubandha Sukham. A prefix ana is joining here. Ananubandha means joy without any consequence. Okay, that is a kind of Sukham, joy. Joy without any consequence. What is that? Somebody is offering me a laddu. Only one laddu. I am also not suffering from diabetes. I am consuming that laddu. Does it lead to any consequence? No. I may feel, let me take another laddu also. Then I can console myself. Don't worry, we will take tomorrow. Okay. Except this, no other consequence comes here. This is Ananubandha Sukham. And this Ananubandha Sukham is neutral. If I take some laddu, is it Dharma or Adharma? It is neither Dharma nor Adharma. Okay. So these 2 terms are over. You may take a laddu, no problem. It is not adharmic. Okay, even great souls sometimes involve themselves in Ananubandha Sukham. Shastriji. There was a very great soul, Professor Satyanarayana Shastri. Professor Satyanarayana Shastri, he was taking some laddus. At that time, he said, this innocent involvement, very beautiful term, innocent involvement. Atta is different. Enjoying life, we have rights to enjoy. Happiness is our birthright. This is what Rama says. Sukhabhajaha prajasmrtaha. In Ramayana, Rama says this. Happiness is our birthright. There is nothing wrong in enjoying our life. But it should not become an Atra Shakti. That's all. We should not make the material objects to consume us. Without that, we can enjoy. It's neither dharma nor adharma, neither punya nor papa. Now, let us be a little more serious. Two more terms I introduce. These two terms are generally termed as dharma. Next two terms. What's that? Abhyudaya and Nisreyasa. Two terms. Here we should be serious because we should be more attentive because the very definition of dharma is based on these two terms. Yataha abhyudaya nisreyasa siddhihi sadharmaha. This is a very traditional definition of dharma. This sutra is from Vaiseshika Shastra. But few of Vaiseshika concepts will not be accepted by some other schools of thoughts, like Vedanta or Mimamsa. But this definition is common in all schools of thoughts. Yataha abhyudaya nisreyasa siddhihi sadharmaha. This definition is everywhere in all Shastras. Even Shankaracharya is dealing with this definition. Advaita, Advaita, all Vedantic schools, Mimamsa schools, they all accept this definition. Yataha abhyudaya. Abhyudaya? Okay, let me give the meaning of the sutra first. Yataha abhyudaya nisreyasa siddhihi sadharmaha. Dharma is that through which abhyudaya and nisreyasa can be accomplished. Again I repeat, dharma is that through which abhyudaya and nisreyasa can be accomplished. Now comes the question, what is abhyudaya, what is nisreyasa? Abhyudaya, ut eti, that is udaya. Ut eti means development, upliftment, that is udaya. Abhi udaya, abhitaha, okay, development all around, that is abhyudaya. Is it like all-round personality? No. Development all around means development of all the beings, all the people around, in my society, in my nation, in the world. This is abhyudaya. What am I going to do for this? This is abhyudaya. Nisreyasa. Nisreyasa is from the word Shreyas. Okay. What is Shreyas? What is Shrihi? Shrihi means auspiciousness. Shrihi means splendor. Nisreyasa is also related to that. I have given literal meaning now. Nisreyasa in general means spirituality, spiritual joy. Okay. So abhyudaya means welfare of the world, welfare of society. Nisrayasa means spiritual welfare. That's how it goes. So now this sutra is more understandable. Dharma is that through which universal welfare and internal peace can be accomplished. Right? Siddhi means accomplishing. Yataha abhyudaya nisrayasa siddhihi sadharma. Dharma is that through which universal welfare and internal peace can be accomplished. Very interesting sutra. These are two kinds of joys, Abhyudaya and Nisrayasa. Let me now explain the feature of Abhyudaya. Abhyudaya is a joy which leads to a momentary difficulty, a momentary misery, but later leads to a prolonged joy. Please understand. For our understanding, let me repeat. Abhyudaya is that which can offer us a momentary difficulty, but later taking us to prolonged joy. Atattatanuhu natadamo asnute, the Veda says. Without tormenting, we can't get that joy. Without facing the difficulties, we can't get that joy. Same is told fantastically, beautifully in Ramayana. Our Sitama says, Na sukhat labhyate sukham. Joy cannot be acquired by joy. Okay. Any great thing can be achieved only by hard work. To start with education, when we are going to school or when we are going to Gurukula, we work hard. If we take it easy and then we may fail in examination, we may not get good marks, we may suffer in future life. But if we work hard now, due to this hard work, we get good marks. And this society is a wonderful society. It is living in peace. It enjoys. Because this society has hard workers. Recently, some papers are published regarding the survival of the fittest. Those who sacrifice for others, those kinds of living beings, those kinds of species which have the tendency to sacrifice for others, those species become very fit to have a long lifespan. Such kinds of biological papers are coming. Wonderful. This is a wonderful finding. This is without hard work, we can't get this Abhyudaya kind of joy. So many examples, I said, education. Or a company is coming up nicely. Or a nation. A nation has come up nicely. A nation is developing nicely. How it is developing? It's because of the hard work of the people in that nation. To be free of corruption, we have to work hard. For honesty, for all these things, great sadhana is required. Okay, Abhyudaya. Then comes Nisrayasa. Nisrayasa means spiritual welfare, internal peace. Okay, fine. A main feature of this Nisrayasa is this. It starts with a momentary kind of misery, but later in due course of time, it leads us to permanent happiness. Hope that you have understand a subtle difference between Abhyudaya and Nishayasa. In Abhyudaya, it starts with momentary misery leading to prolonged happiness. Nishayasa, it starts with a momentary misery leading to permanent happiness. This is Nishayasa. Okay. Is there anything called permanent happiness at all? Is it existing upon some clouds? Probably after death we are going to get it by doing something here. Is it that kind of faith or dogma? Can permanent happiness be achieved? No, it cannot be achieved. It cannot be achieved. This is what Shankaracharya says. Because permanent happiness is not an object to be achieved. Anything what you achieve, you have to lose. This is a law of nature. Permanent happiness is not that which can be achieved. It cannot be achieved. Permanent happiness is our own core nature. We are searching for that everywhere. We want to be happy, happy, happy. Having that. We can't actualize this permanent happiness till we search for that permanent happiness in the external world. No external object can give us that. All external objects are momentary, offering a momentary kind of happiness, that's all. But permanent happiness is always within us. It's not a poem. I'm not singing a poetry here. It is not a hyperbole or exaggeration. It's a different kind of thing. There are so many objects. How to be in that? How to be in that permanent happiness? Let me give a glimpse of that. We experience so many objects around us. We are thinking that they are giving us joy. They are giving us joy. They are giving us joy. That's what we feel. If they truly give us joy, then why saturation point comes? Why there is law of diminishing? I take a laddu, which is extremely delightful to me. Can I take a second laddu? Can I take third laddu? How many laddus I can take? 10, 12, 15, 20, 30. More than that, I don't have delight. Why? If laddu gives happiness, the 30th laddu also has to give happiness. 30th laddu also has the same flavor which the first laddu has. 30th laddu also has the same ghee, same sugar. Why the 30th laddu is not giving me happiness? It means happiness is not derived from laddu. Laddu can go and touch our tongue, but from some other thing we are deriving happiness, not from laddu. If we have to derive happiness from laddu, then 30th laddu also has to give that happiness. Right? Very interesting movie. Somebody comes to you and says, very interesting movie I have seen. Then you tell him, Come on, let us go and see now. No, now only I have watched that movie. I am coming from theatre, sir. No, for my sake, you have to come again and watch. Can he come? Okay, even if he comes third time, can he come? Fourth time, fifth time? How much he can watch? The same movie which is extremely delightful to him cannot be watched second or third time. What happened? So film is not delightful. Delight is coming from some other place. Even though consumption of that film, seeing that film, happens while delight is coming. From which place this delight is coming, that we have to explore. What is the source of this delight? He may watch film, he may eat laddu, but what's the source of that delight? There comes this wonderful thing. Upanishad talks about it. Anandasya matrameva upajivanti. Then Upanishad talks about it. Great souls like Abhinava Gupta, they also talk about it. This can be seen in literary criticism like Rasagangadaram, Dhanyaloka. Okay. In literature, in philosophy, we see this. When he is consuming the object which he believes to be delightful, for a fraction of a second, his thought forces are calmed. There, he experiences himself. But unfortunately, after that fraction of a second, again thoughts are engulfing, instincts are coming out. He started to report, wow, wonderful. What is wonderful? Rasagulla is wonderful. Hey, you are wonderful. You are missing yourself. You have missed. You are thinking that Rasagulla is wonderful. And Anandasya matra meva upajivanti. So for a fraction of a second, by consuming any object which is delightful, one gets silenced. His vrittis are stopped. There, in that calmness, he experiences himself. He realizes it cannot be called as the highest form of self-realization, but a secondary glimpse. Glimpse of what? Glimpse of a stoppage of chitta vrittis. And the objects which can make us to go into it can be classified into three: Sattvika, Rajasa and Tamasa. Rasagulla or Laddu or seeing a film, all these things are Rajasa, Tamasa objects. Drug addiction or alcohol, these are Tamasa objects. But what is Sattvic is this: doing puja, doing Sandhyopasanam, doing japa, doing pranayama, performing asanas, all these things. While we practice all these things, if we voluntarily push ourselves to the inner self while doing japa, if we voluntarily we try to remove the thoughts from us. As soon as the thoughts removed, we stay in the inner self. What's the difference between the Sattvika delight and the Rajasa delight? In Rajasa delight, the internal silence in which you are going to stay, you stay. The time span will be very less, and the instincts which are coming up, its time span will be significantly higher. In Sattvic delight, the experience of internal peace will be significantly higher than the emergence of thoughts, emergence of vrittis and instincts. Therefore, by these spiritual practices like tapasya, japa, so on and so forth, if we cleanse our heart, chitta shuddhi, if our vrittis are silenced, if our dirts in the heart are washed, if the accelerated, speedy instincts and emotions are calmed, that which exists finally is we. Okay. And that is permanent only. This is permanent delight in which very great jnanis are there. But when we take efforts to remove these dirts in mind, there will be a momentary tormenting. When our ego is calmed, if we make efforts to calm our ego, which we developed for various births, then lot of troubles will be invited, but difficulty will be there. Okay, those things are momentary. After that, we will stay in our own self. All the vrittis will be washed out. We can remain peacefully forever. This is Nisreyasa. So, as a summary, we can see in this way that which gives you momentary pleasure leading to a very long kind of misery is atta, that has to be given up, that has to be avoided through our viveka, discriminative intelligence. That which gives us ananubandha sukha, that which has no consequence, a joy which has no consequences, ananubandha sukha, neutral. That which gives us a momentary difficulty leading to a long joy is abhyudaya, social welfare. And that which gives us a momentary difficulty leading to an everlasting joy, everlasting satisfaction, tripti, is this Nishreyasa. Dharma is that job, dharma is that thought which can lead us to abhyudaya and Nishreyasa, Loka Shanti and Atma Shanti, Loka Kshema and Atma Shanti. This is how dharma is defined in Shastras. This may seem to be a very simple or ordinary, trivial definition, but having this framework, 4 terms, their meaning, having this framework, if we approach any work or any contemplation, any deed in our life, we can have utter clarity regarding dharma. By this, having this, you just see your own questions, whatever questions you have presented. I hope that most of the questions that you have presented will be answered with this framework which we have seen now. So nice that we had this satsanga, this occasion. The Somebash members, I pray for their welfare and their growth of their sincerity to Lord Skanda. What's the significance of Skanda here? Because Skanda is that burning fire within us to take us in the path of Dharma. Skanda and Agni are one. That's why I'm telling this. Anyhow, 3 members who talked to me before this lecture, Sri Karthikeyan and Sri Subramanian and Srimati Kritika, all these are the names related to Skanda. For that also, we can conclude with this. Thank you. Ram, Ram, Ram.
That was very nice and a wonderful conclusion. A lot of food for thought for all of us. If I may ask, there is one thing that quickly pops up in my mind, and if you would, if you have the time, maybe please help us in answering that. You gave the example of eating laddus and watching movies, and again, there is law of diminishing returns. But then there is always this joy, Mahakavya Swada, for example. If there is a wonderful piece of artwork, even if you watch it 1,000 times, even if I read Mahabharata or Ramayana 100 times, I don't feel bored. There is always something new to learn from that one. A similar thing for all commoners in common experience is that if we like some job, our vritti or our pravritti, we don't feel bored. We tend to keep doing it again and again and again. There's also that kind of joy that we derive out of these activities. And after all, nahi kaschit kshanavipi jatah tishtatya karma krite. We all have to do karma continuously. Now, in these circumstances, what is the nirvachana of Ananda and what is Dharma here? How are these four definitions related to this? I would like to understand.
Yes. I was talking only about a constant kind of involvement. I might have read several times Hamlet or some other masterpiece, some literature. But can I do it constantly? Now only I finished. Immediately after finishing that, now only before 2 minutes I finished. Immediately can I start again? And after finishing again, can I start? There are people who have watched several movies 100 times and all. But there will be a time gap, okay, in which again that energy has to come out. We have exhausted a particular package of energy. So to gain some other energy, we have to. Okay. So that's
true.
constant kind of thing we can't get. That's what I said. And regarding pravritti, vritti, karma we do, breathing, these are all constant. Involuntary action, karyate hyavasha karma, involuntary actions. Involuntary actions are permanent, like heartbeat and all. They are not under our control. Okay, we are not doing those things for the sake of joy. Okay. Anyhow, karma which is going on in our life, in this with having this discriminative intelligence, we have to see every karma. Is this dharmic or not? Is this dharmic means? Is this abhidaya oriented or not? Is this nishayasa oriented or not? If it is abhidaya oriented, we have to do. If it is nishayasa oriented, also we have to do. If it is an innocent involvement, also it's okay. If it is ananubandha sugam, it's okay. No problem. We have to avoid atta, and atta oriented people also we have to avoid. In this way, we have to lead our life. Yeah.
Thank you. Kritika ji.
So thanks a lot, Dr. Ranganji, for a very enlightening session for 1 hour of. The first time I hear from Drishya Maniji that you are speaking about this in public, your Dharma model. So it is our bhagyam. I would say it is a big fortune that we have been your first recipient of your public lecture on this topic. Many thanks. I will finish off with a Shanti mantra. ॐ सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामया सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत् ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः.
श्रीराम जय जय राम श्रीराम जय जय राम श्रीराम जय जय राम श्रीराम जय